Welcome back to Beers Up Sports Talk. Sibo in the house, Debo in the house, episode 26. A little something special for you guys tonight. But before we get started, Debo, what are you drinking on?
The other night after the river, I stopped at Atkins to pick up some groceries. And I went to the singles aisle, and I picked up something called
Fiance?
Heckle Viking from Sloop Brewery.
Okay. All right.
First sip ever trying this one, so let's see what happens. Tasty.
There we go. That's what I'm talking about. And I am still with Trillium. I'm drinking really Big Bird tonight. This is a really freaking good beer. I mean, color-wise, I saved this fourth beer just for this podcast because I wanted to be able to feature it because it's off the chains.
By the way, did you make a comment at the singles aisle?
I don't know what you're talking about, man. Let's get to the podcast. All right, listen up, ladies and gentlemen. A little special treat for you tonight. Fantasy baseball draft starting in 18 seconds. Woo! Debo and I have been in this league for a bunch of years. It's got 16 teams. At one point, it was at 20 teams. 16 teams, 29 players on the roster.
Oh.
So we won't be here for the whole draft tonight because that would be insane. But all you need to know is that you end up drafting a lot of people. And we're live. I heard the noise. So we're in.
I heard the noise too.
So we're in. I've got the 8th pick. You've got the 9th pick. I don't even know what's going on here. I don't get it, but we're here. We're here.
We're in round 5. It looks like we only get 30 seconds to pick, so we better make sure we're on point.
Yeah. Thankfully, you can't really go wrong with your second pick. Probably screw it up, but who knows? You want to give a quick shout out to your keepers because there's special rules about keepers. Who you got?
Oh boy, you're gonna make me remember that. I have Tim Anderson.
Yep.
I have Carlos Santana. I have Ryan McMahon and Tapia, my guy that I said I was looking forward to for the Rockies. So let's see what happens.
I got Gary Sanchez, catcher from the Yankees. Will Myers, outfielder from San Diego. Fernando Tatis Jr., my man from San Diego. And Edwin Rosario from the Twins. Went full offense all the way. 2 picks until my turn.
Yeah, so before we get into that story, let's do it.
Yeah, let's see. Let's see who we got here. I'm up. Tough. I already know who I'm going with. I'm going with the guy that I'm going to talk a lot about tonight. Soto. Boom. There it is.
Soto. Nice. All right.
Game a lot tonight.
I'm going to be up, and I am going to stay with the Colorado Rockies and go with Arenado.
All right.
So we got a little
First
time.
round pick is out of the way. Let's get started. Let's start with the NFL. Over the weekend, a bunch of players tweeted out support of the NFL needing to create a plan of safety for the players, a safe return to the game, because the reality is right now they're just expecting the players to show up, play football, and everything's going to be all right. Thoughts on the NFL's kind of slow to react move here?
Yeah, I'm a little surprised by it. They saw what went on with Major League Baseball. They're the only league that wasn't kind of in season out of all of them. They had the most time to really sit down, figure this out. I'm not sure why this hasn't been knocked out yet. They had a free slate. They saw what's going on in Europe and how those leagues are going. They've seen how the struggles of Major League Baseball. I don't understand how this can be messed up that bad.
Yeah, and so there's a bit of an agreement already in place on testing. I don't know if you saw this, but they have agreed to test every day.
Yep.
For the first 2 weeks of camp.
I did see that.
And then from that point on, they will test every other day. That's fine. That's great. So for at least the near future, there's going to be testing nonstop. I'm not necessarily concerned with that. I am really concerned of once the season starts, right? When these players are traveling, when they're probably being a little bit less focused on the training piece and just more on the oh, this is my day off. I need to get out. I need to rest, whatever it may be. I'm worried about the overall plan. And again, the NFL's been quiet about this from the jump, right? They haven't said a lot about what their plan is. I think that's because they want to be as tight-lipped as possible, because I think what we're seeing around the country is that sports just probably aren't going to happen this fall that much. And so I don't think they want to come out and say anything because they might have to go back on their word, and they don't like doing that. You know?
I agree. I mean, one thing I found interesting is I've seen some owners starting to come out about no fans. The owner of Oakland is even talking about the season not even happening, that it's a real possibility. So
and they're supposed to go into a new stadium, right?
Right. Vegas. You know? Yeah, I'm sorry I said Oakland.
Yeah, and the other big announcement is that they're going to have 1 or maybe 0 preseason games. So that's the thing that the other thing they've kind of come to an agreement. I like it. If they're going to play, you got to just get out on the field and play. And again, the least amount of interaction with other teams as possible. I can't believe I'm saying that because then they're going to go play a regular season. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But it sounds like the NFL is listening to the players. It sounds like I'm sure they're having conversations in the background. But it seems like these teams and these owners need to come together and figure out what the plan is because it's not looking too great right now.
Not at all. So
I'm
up.
You're up. Let's do it, kid.
And the guy I was going to draft actually just went, Rafael Devers, even though I just picked the third baseman. So what I'm going to do is I am going to go with the guy that I was planning on watching from the Los Angeles Angels in Anthony Rendon, and I'm just going to put him in my utility slot, and we'll be good to go.
This is like falling right into me. Like, I'm taking Bryce Harper. This is crazy. My offense is going to be off the chains. I don't know about pitching, but we'll figure it out. All right, let's get to the next topic.
Can we have, before we get into that next topic, can we have a moment to talk about how in a 16-team league we are starting 2 catchers?
You don't have to. Listen, this is not the forum to talk about this league. It is a hot mess. We've done it far too long. There are too many players. But I still show up every year. It's $25. It is what it is. It gives me something to do. But
Fair enough.
Having 2 catchers is absolutely ridiculous, especially when there are 20 teams. You're looking at 40 catchers, no chance.
Right.
No chance. All right, let's get right to baseball then. The Toronto Blue Jays, or I should say Canada, has announced that they are not going to allow the Toronto Blue Jays to play their home games in Toronto in the Rogers Centre because they don't want people traveling into Canada, which, bruh, can't blame them. Cannot blame them. The border is closed. Right now, the border is closed.
Yeah.
People aren't, for the most part, getting in and out. So Toronto's going to have to play somewhere else. What do you think about this move by Canada?
I think it's smart. I think they see the dumpster fire that America has become due to COVID. I think that it's also a flex move. Like, you know what? You talk about borders all the time, and now we're gonna shut ours. So I think it's smart for Toronto because why bring that up there? They don't need that. Hockey's gonna come back, and we don't need extra problems for hockey.
Right. And I'll say this: you're right, and it's a great flex, right? It's a great flex on the United States of America. It's also just a smart move, right? Because let's think about it. You're gonna have people from Boston, from Baltimore, from Tampa, from
New York,
from Atlanta, from Washington, D.C. I mean, you're talking about some major metropolitan areas where there are still high numbers of positive cases. You're talking about Florida, where there's still high numbers of cases. Just find somewhere else to play. And so they have been in conversation with some folks. So here are the options. You got their AAA affiliate in Buffalo.
Yep.
I did hear that the lights aren't up to MLB quality for night games.
Yep.
Whatever the hell that means. You've got their spring training facility in Dundon, however you say that. But that's in Florida, and there's lots of cases. And then they've been talking with PNC Park, the Pittsburgh Pirates, which seems to make a lot of sense.
I mean, good on the Pirates for stepping up and having the conversations. I mean, you don't want to see it. I mean, let's be honest. The thing that stinks the most is this is terrible for the Blue Jays players. Like, they're not really going to get to go home and see their kids and wives and all that for all those that live in Toronto or in the local area. It's pretty cruddy for them to have to deal with this.
Yeah, and I mean, it's tough. Here's what I'll say. Oh, I'm up. Hold on. Stay
up. Yep.
This is easy money. Easy money. Zach Greinke. That's Cy Young stuff right there.
Man, so that would make me up, huh?
Yeah, you're up, kid.
Yeah. So I was gonna go one more round with the starting pitchers, but it's getting a little shady there. And now I'm looking at it again, and I'm not gonna do that. And I am gonna go with Vlad Jr.
There you go. There you go. So here's one of the places that was on the list of potential places to play games is Detroit. It sounds like it's not going to be Detroit. That would make a lot of sense. It's right across the water. I think it's a great flex by Toronto. I think it's a smart move by Toronto. It stings for the Blue Jays that they're not going to be able to play home games. But again, this is going to be a quick 60-game season where, honestly, it's going to mean less travel for them because they're not going to be flying to Toronto, right? If they're playing any number of those teams we just mentioned, they're all right down the street from Pittsburgh, right, in the grand scheme.
Yep.
So, like, in my mind, it's a smart move by them. And, again, I'm not expecting them to win a whole lot of games this year, so they're probably like, listen, let's just get this season over and move on.
I'm with you on that.
All right. Now, it's the moment Debo's been waiting for. We've arrived at the NL East where, you know, the over-under has the Braves winning a whole lot of games. And so let's dive right in, D. The Braves. Who you got for your guy? Who's your guy on the Braves?
So, Yasiel Puig, no longer on this team. We talked about him last episode. Signed him. Could be some great outfield help. And then he went and failed the COVID test, so they were like,
listen,
we're good.
Cheers to him for signing with the team and having a COVID clause and then immediately testing positive for COVID. Shout out to him.
Yikes, right? And then let's talk about Ronald Acuna Jr. is the best player on this team. And he was the player I was going to choose to keep an eye on this year. But the news coming out about Freddie Freeman, he's coming back from COVID. He tested positive. He didn't have the no symptom cases like a lot of players have had. He said 104 temperature, 104.5 temperature. Said at one point he was saying, I wish I would just die. You know, if that's true, I mean, who knows how strong he's going to be this season. And I think it's important. He's an important part of this offense. And I'm going to go with Freddie Freeman. I want to see if, you know, are they going to play him every game? Are they going to play him every other game? Is he going to have any kind of like pitch count, basically? It's a respiratory virus. So you're talking about he's running bases. He's, you know, it's baseball. It's not like it's basketball running the court, but, you know, if he's trying to leg out a double, does he maybe only go for a single sometimes? So I think that's why I want to watch him, just because of the whole COVID thing.
And I've got Freeman too, and it's for all of the reasons you said, and just also you put him in that lineup, and that lineup gets 10 times better, right? Yes, you've got Acuna. Yes, you've got Ozuna. You've got some other bats. They just signed Matt Adams, who will probably be a little bit of a DH, spin at first base. They've got some players. They've got a lineup. But if Freddie Freeman's hitting in that 3 and that 4 hole, and he's hitting even at 75, 80% of what he's been able to do in his career, they're a much better team than if he's not in that lineup. And so he's absolutely a player rush. Acuna Jr. is going to do it. Like, he's going to bust out. Ozuna's going to hit his home runs. They've got some pitching. My runner-up in this category was actually Cole Hamels, only because he's not their number one. But if he's healthy, he's a guy that's going to help them win in the regular season and also potentially in the postseason. You ready? It's coming up, man.
Yeah, it's my next pick. So while I guess we're back to back, but as I say, I'm gonna wait before I talk about the over because I got some. It's my turn to draft, so I am gonna go with the new Atlanta Brave, Marcell Ozuna.
Yikes!
I agree. That's where I'm at this point.
I keep picking this guy. I'm just going to do it. I'm just drafting Chapman. I need a closer. I know he just tested positive for COVID, but you know what? I need a closer.
You're already going closer, huh?
Pretty well. Here's my thing in this league. You need at least one closer. You got to have a guy that's going to rack up saves. And in this short season, the Yankees are going to win a lot of games. Maybe they blow out a lot of teams, but that is we're going to talk about a little bit tonight. The NL and the AL East are two divisions that have a lot of good teams. So I don't know that it's going to be a lot of close games or that it's going to be a lot of blowouts. But as long as he's healthy, he's going to he's going to have a lot of save opportunities.
No doubt. So I think we got to get into our over/under here, huh? 34 games?
Over/under 34.
So we talked about it when we broke down the Braves and the Red Sox. Wow, which is probably like 2 months back at this point. I mentioned starting pitching could be a little bit better. A little worried about that. Their bullpen is fantastic. They have a good offense. I looked at the schedule, and as I kind of did, we'll win this one, we'll lose that one. In my mind, it came out as a push. So I'm going to go over because I'm going to trust them, and they're going to go over the 34 games.
I'm going to be fully honest as we get into these over-unders. My bias is to the AL East. I'm going under. Now, I've got them at 31.
Yep.
That's where I'm at. I have no math. I've done zero math. That is just my feeling. I think they're going to be under, but not by much. I think this is a division that is a lot closer than what the numbers kind of indicate. And I think you're going to see from kind of the rest of the teams that I think this is going to be one of those divisions that just everybody's on top of each other right to the end of the season.
And I'm not disagreeing with that. I actually, the first go round of this, I was like, all 5 teams are under.
Mm-hmm.
Like I saw it, and it's part of. I mean, they're playing the Red Sox, they're playing the Yankees, Toronto, the Rays. We only get the Orioles 3 times compared to Washington, who gets them 6 times. So
Red Sox that get to play them 10 times.
Right. So it'll be interesting to see what the Braves can do.
Right. All right, let's move to the Marlins. Yikes.
There's always one team, huh?
Why don't you go ahead and pick your player, Doc?
Okay. So this player has nothing to do with the Marlins winning games. Mm-hmm. It's another one of those homer picks, but in a different way. I'm going to follow the kid from Central High School in Springfield, Mass. Isan Diaz. He's 24 years old, second baseman. He only has 179 major league at bats, but I want to see a local succeed, so I'm going to support him from Central.
Okay. Hold on 1 second. I'm about to pick.
I hear you. I'm right behind you. Yep.
I don't really know who I'm going to pick, but I've got somebody who I think I'm going to pick, as long as nobody takes him. Come on. What's going on here? 30 seconds. Come on, just pick somebody. You've got your guy. All right, I'm up. I'm taking Jeff McNeil. Look at that. 311, 7 home runs, 28 RBIs, and he plays second base, third base, left field, and right field. Positional flexibility, folks. That's what we do.
I was going to say, I don't even know who that is.
All right, so here's the deal. My player for the Marlins is Derek Jeter.
Yep.
The owner.
Yes.
Whatever role he has. Because this is his baby. They have sold off every imaginable talent that they have. They have screwed the city of Miami. And they've got to pay all this money. And it remains to be seen if this team is ever going to be good. I picked Pablo Lopez, which is a young, competitive balance first-round pick for them. He's one of their top starting pitchers. He's young. He's going to have an opportunity to lead the staff. But, God, they are bad.
They are not good.
And, it's not like – you look at some other teams and you're like, oh, that's a veteran that I kind of recognize. Or like, oh, that's a young rookie who's high on the charts. They don't even have that. They've got a couple of veterans that you're like, oh yeah, I've seen that guy play before. But there's not a lot of major league talent on this team.
Not a ton. And
so I'm giving it to Derek Jeter because he's going to have to figure this thing out real quick. At some point, they're going to have to start building a competitive team. But I don't know when that's going to happen. And so over under D 24.5.
It's under.
Yes, it is.
That's all I got. It's under.
Yeah, this is a good division, and then the Orioles are better than this team in my opinion.
That's saying a lot.
Right, and I don't like the Orioles.
I don't like them either.
But they are, in my opinion, projecting in a better direction than this team. And maybe I'm off. Maybe we'll do the AL East tomorrow, and it'll be better, and the Orioles will look even worse. But in my mind, they're better. They're better. All right, the New York Football Mets. All right, who do you have?
Give me 1 second. Just getting ready for my next pick. I apologize.
No problem. I'm literally just picking whoever's really at the top of mine.
All right. Normally, I don't usually go with the best player or best prospect or I'm sorry. Usually it's a prospect if they're not a good team. I'm not saying the Mets aren't good, but I haven't gone with Acuna. I haven't gone with Betts. I'm going with Pete Alonso.
Big home run hitter, man.
Reigning Rookie of the Year, 53 homers, 120 RBIs. Ridiculous year. He played in all 161 games. So I guess the reason I'm watching is there a sophomore slump coming? Is he going to try way too hard to recreate what he did last year and try to hit 53 homers in 60 games? They have some good pitching still. I know they don't have Wheeler, but I think it's on Alonso to carry this team. So I'm curious if his shoulders are going to be big enough to do that.
So he was a guy that was top on my list, right? Like he was definitely a guy that I was looking at that I thought, he's in the discussion. Hold on, let's pause. I'm up or I'm next. Let's see what we got. And I don't even know who I'm going to pick. I might even have to take 30 seconds here. I'm not going to do it, D. I'm just going to pick. I'm going to win this league.
I'm going to go at Kepler.
Whoa, what's going on? Why does that keep happening? Is it my turn? My turn.
It is your turn.
Oh, man. I can't pick up the
and
goal.
join.
Huh? I know. It keeps kicking me out. All right, let's see who we got. I got 10 seconds. All right, I'm going.
Yeah, so when I was looking up this stuff, I didn't realize that Zach Wheeler wasn't even on the team. I had to see where he went. Now I see he's out. Yeah, he's in Philly.
So let me get back to the Mets. So I'm going Jake DeGrom. Big contract, 5 years, $137.5 million at 32 years old.
Yep.
Tons of deferred money in that, but that's neither here nor there. He's their number one. This is a team that a couple of years ago was bad. They've kind of made a nice quick turnaround. A-Rod might be and J-Lo might be their owners soon. Who knows? Probably not, but they're on the short list. But DeGrom is kind of their workhorse. Can he stay healthy? Can he lead that staff? They've got some offense there. They've got some talent offensively that I'm pretty impressed with. Pete Alonso's one. The guy just drafted Jeff McNeil's another one. Conforto's still there. They've got a lot of talent there on the offensive side. But if DeGrom and Syndergaard's there too, if those guys can light up the mound like they've done in years past, then I think they have a chance to win some games.
Yeah.
Over under 32, what do you got?
I think they're going to struggle out of the gate, get hot at the end, and make it to 500, which puts them under.
I've got under 2. I mean, again, they've got to play the Yankees how many times?
I think they play them, 7 times?
Yeah.
6 or 7 times.
So you've got to play this division 10 times each, right? 10 games each.
Yep.
And then you've got to go play 7 games against the Yankees, 5 against the Red Sox, 5 against the Rays, maybe. I'm not even sure, but that's a lot. That's a heavy schedule.
Yeah, it is.
All right, let's move on. Phillies, who you got?
Got to be Bryce Harper this year. And he left Washington, got that huge contract, and then Washington went out and won the World Series without him.
That has nothing to do with him. Let's be honest.
Say that's fine. And I think he's going to have to respond. He's going to have a good year just because after that, it's ironic. It may mean nothing, but if what I remember, he's a pretty slow starter. So I think it's important in a 60-game season that he gets out of the gate pretty quickly. You're up next.
Oh, I'm up next. Let's go. Who am I picking, D?
I hope he has a big season. Be nice for you. I think you got him one of your picks this draft. So
I'm looking at stats right now. And as soon as my turn is next. All right, who do I got here, D? Who am I taking? I've already got 3 pitchers, so I got to go back to offense. I think I'm going to pick your guy.
My guy?
Yeah. Your guy.
I don't know who my guy is.
Joey Votto.
Oh, nice.
Give me that on base.
We just talked about him. I need some pitching, so I'm going with Zach Wheeler.
So let me just do this real quick. Bryce Harper, you just said he's got to bounce back. Last year he batted .260.
Yep.
35 home runs, 114 RBIs, 50.
Did I say he has to bounce back, or did I say he has to show up this year?
Is that not showing up? I mean,
No, but I think he has to come out hard. 262. Is that really a good hitter?
let me throw something at you here. 3 players.
Yep.
Since 1960.
Yep.
Before or by the age of 27, to have 200 home runs and a 385 on base percentage. Mike Trout.
Yep.
Albert Pujols. Bryce Harper. He's
Great.
one of the best players in the game.
I'm not denying that. And I think when your team that you were supposed to be the face of goes out and wins the World Series the year after you left, all eyes are going to be on you to see how you respond. Because why did that happen? Why couldn't he carry them?
He did. He carried them through a lot of bad seasons. But here's the deal. You're not wrong in the sense that he needs to show up. I think he's going to show up. I think one of the things that happened last year is that the Phillies weren't as good as everybody thought they were going to be. And everybody obviously is going to put that on Bryce Harper's back because he's the superstar. The guy hit 35 home runs. And we've talked about this. That 260 average is not bad in today's Major League Baseball, right? Like, yes, people like Mike Trout and people like Mookie Betts are hitting over 300 because they're insane human beings. But Bryce Harper does a lot of other things. I mean, his on-base percentage is ridiculous. Slugging is ridiculous. He's a stud. He's an absolute stud. He's going to lead this team. Over, under, 31.5. What do you got, D?
I got under.
I got over. I got him at 32. I think this team is going to be where they were supposed to be last year. And I think that they are the type of team that has both offense. They got Wheeler. They got Nola. They got some pitchers. I think they're going to be better because – and to your point, you said that Harper has to get out. This is the type of season that I think he's going to be mashing because this is the guy that when he gets hot can just ruin pitchers for weeks at a time.
Yep.
And I just think in a short season, he's just going to come out and rope. And he's the guy I got. All right. Last up, our defending World Series champions, the Washington Nationals. Who do you have?
So can I give out, like, you know how they give out honorary doctorates to, special people that do things? I'm giving out the honorary player to watch is Dr. Anthony Fauci.
Okay. What do you got there? Give me some context.
I'm giving you context here. He's throwing out the first pitch to open the season. I love it. I mean, this guy is out here telling people wear your damn mask. He's a baller. He's an OG. He gets some respect from me.
Okay. I respect that.
But in the end –
picking, I don't know who to pick. I'm just telling you right now, I'm freaking out.
In the end, I'm going with the person that is replacing Anthony Rendon, Carter Kieboom.
Yes. And
I'm sure I messed that up because that's a hard last name to pronounce. But I'm going with him. He's starting at the third base. He's 22 years old. He's only got 39 career at-bats, and he's expected to fill a pretty big hole in that lineup.
Right. No, you're absolutely right.
With Rendon going over to the Angels. So I would say that maybe you can agree or disagree, but Rendon was probably the offensive MVP for the Nationals last year.
I messed it up, guys. I messed it up. I ran out of time. Guys. I mean, I'll take Elvis Andrus. Like, I'm not mad about that.
You ran out of time?
Yeah. I was listening to you talk, man. I'm in on the podcast. You're going on and on about Carter Kieboom, and I'm like into it. I'm like listening to you, not even paying attention.
I like it.
All right.
Makes me feel like you're interested. So basically what I said was you'd agree that Rendon was the offensive MVP last year, right? For the Nats?
Maybe, but probably yes.
So I think to see what he can do to replace him is going to be pretty big on that end.
I'm going to go with the guy that actually is going to replace Rendon as a superstar, and that's Juan Soto. He is a bona fide stud. He, to me, is the reason why you let Bryce Harper go. We just talked about Bryce Harper's 35 home runs, 114 RBIs, batting 260. Here's Soto last year. 297, 34 home runs, 110 RBIs, 12 stolen bases. And oh, by the way, dude's like 22 years old.
I like it.
He is flat out nasty. Like he's my boo. When I watch him play, I get excited. I'm not gonna lie. He's my guy. Honorable mention to the pitching staff. Because those top three are nasty. Strasburg, what's his face? I'm already forgetting him. Scherzer, and then Patrick Corbin. Those three dudes are studs, and that's the reason that this team is World Series champions and are going to be right back fighting for a playoff spot again this year. And so like I will say, their offense is taking a little hit. You lose Rendon, you lose Zimmerman, even though he's not who he once was. He's not playing this year. He's sitting out.
Right.
You're relying on a guy like Howie Kendrick to repeat what he did last year, which was, in my opinion, way above kind of what he's capable of doing at this age. Though maybe he comes back and does it again. You've got Victor Robles, who's the young guy in center field, who I think could make some waves. But like, they're going to have to rely on that starting pitcher. But Juan Soto's the guy to watch. Over under D 34.
And I told you I had everyone under originally, and I know we talked about they got to play the Yankees, they got to play it, but they get the Orioles 6 times. So as much as I thought that they were going to go under, I'm still going to go over. They got the pitching to do it.
I'm going under. I'm going 32-33. I think this division is going to play out very tightly because they've got to play against the AL East, and because outside of Baltimore and Miami, there's not a lot of easy games to win. I mean, even Toronto, who I don't think is going to be great, isn't a bad team, and is full of like that's a major league roster in my opinion. I just think they're in a tough division, and so 2 picks until my turn. This is, man, I can't keep up. I can't do it. But I need a pitcher. I need a pitcher. Give me some saves, man. That's what I want. There it is. I'm getting another closer. Stay with me. Stand by.
Don't do it.
I'm doing it. It's an automatic.
I'm going closer as well. So
here's the thing: the reason why I kept Gary Sanchez, so that I could basically punt catchers.
Okay.
I didn't want to have to think about catchers because, like you said, it's the most ridiculous thing in the world. Someone just took R.T. Bradley. Really?
That's who I was going with, but I assumed you were going to take him.
Oh, see, all of a sudden it gets a little ugly.
All of a sudden?
Yeah. Oh, my God. Here we go. I'm doing it again, D. I'm taking Ian Kennedy. I'm not really happy about it, but I'm going to take it.
Yeah, that's rough with him being on the Royals, who we talked about going under.
Well, here's the deal, though. Any game they're in is going to be close. They're going to need a closer.
No doubt.
All right. So you've got him over. I've got him under. Right, Nationals?
Yep.
All right. So let's go. Who's your MVP? A lot of talent in this division.
There is a lot of talent.
There is some outstanding talent in this division. Who you got?
I'm going with Acuna. You told me when we had the Celtics thing that I should be going with the home team, and no matter what. So you know what? He's winning the MVP. Not only, well, we'll talk about that later, but he's going to win the MVP of the NL East.
And I'm going with my boo. I'm going Juan Soto. Again, there's a lot more on his shoulders this year with Rendon gone, but I think if he shows out the way he's capable of, they're going to be a phenomenal team. So he's my guy. Now, I think I can guess this, but who's winning the division, D?
The Braves.
You don't sound very convincing in that.
No, the Braves are gonna beat the even though the Nationals get the O's 3 more times. I think that the Braves can beat them head to head. They did a really good job against Scherzer and Strasburg last year. It's gonna keep going, and they're gonna win their 3rd division in a row.
All right, there it is. I'm going to the Nats, and I think it's going to be tight. I mean, I've got the Braves 31. I've got the Phillies 31-32. I've got the Nats 32-33. I think the Nats win by a very small margin. And I think it's going to be truthfully, this is one of those things where, like, it might just be a one team from this division gets into the playoffs because everybody else is fighting tooth and nail against these guys in the AL East. It might be one of those situations where, like, no team really bubbles to the top because it's such a difficult road ahead, But I've got the Nats. I think their is the best.
I kind of looked at it, and it kind of reminded me of the Central. They kind of
picks until my turn, D. What the hell's going on? I can't keep up, man.
Yeah, I think it's something that they're just going to beat up on each other, kind of like the NL Central, the AL Central, and it's just going to be close.
No, I'm with you. And that's the thing. I think in the end it's going to be tough because, all these talented teams, and it might end up being where it's only one player. All right, there's my guy. There's my guy. I'm going with him even though he's hurt me in the past. Matt Carpenter. I need to
nice.
There he is. There he is. Yeah, I mean, I just that's the tough part about this, and we're going to talk about the AL East next in the next podcast. And again, I could see teams just beating up, or you could potentially see two teams bubbling to the top. But in this year, where you've got to play the NL East and there's all these good teams, it's going to be really hard. So I think vice versa, it's going to be challenging for all the teams in these two divisions coming up.
Yeah, and also, I mean, I'll go on record right now and say the wild card is not coming out of the National League East.
I think you're probably right in a short season. In a full season where you get to play against these other teams that aren't that good and you can rack up those wins, I completely agree. But in this season where you're playing teams that are going to be – I mean, the AL East and NL East are two of the best divisions in baseball, right? And so it's just going to be a long road ahead for these teams. So
the Braves get 6 against the Sox and 4 against the Yankees. So,
and then 10 against the Nats, 10 against the Mets, 10 against the Phillies. Yeah, that's 40 games against teams that are probably going to be over 500. That's challenging. And we didn't even talk about the Rays, where they'll probably have 5 games, right?
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's the NL East, D. Only one more to go, and baseball's almost back. We're not that far away.
Thursday night.
I know.
We have to do this.
Making me have all feels, man. This is it.
I know we gotta do this last division coming up quick.
Absolutely. All right. Any closing comments?
I do have a last call.
Let's hear it.
There's 0 positive tests in the bubble out of 364 people tested since July 13th. So in the last week, no one has tested positive, and that's a positive thing. That's what we want to see. So keep it going.
Dwight Howard does not believe in vaccines, though. How do you feel about that?
I mean, I believe in vaccines.
Andy's not wearing a mask in the bubble.
I'm not an anti-vaxxer, but I can understand why people would be scared of the first round of a vaccine. Like, let's be honest. Like, someone's going to have to take it and hope that it works, and we'll find it. We'll worry about those long-term effects down the road, I guess.
Yeah, you can stick that in my arm, Doc. I'm willing to be one of those guys. Let's do it.
Nice.
Yeah, man. And I just a shout out. Obviously, hashtag Black Lives Matter, but little quick. Breonna Taylor's the police officers that killed her in her sleep are still just hanging out.
Done.
So you folks in Kentucky, please step up to the plate. Arrest those folks. Let's go. Please stop. All right. Let's not forget about these people that have been murdered in cold blood.
Yeah, it's getting old.
Let's do something better. And as you always say, man, wear a mask.
Wear a mask.
A goddamn mask. Let's do it, man.
Let's sign off so you can get to your pick.
All right, man. We'll see y'all next time.
Peace.